Welcome back, beautiful souls. It's a soldier of light reporting for duty, and I have with me the usuals that we have here on our beautiful podcast and get together. Mr. J. Rocco, Mr. Dennis. Hello, gentlemen. Hello,
So
gentlemen.
good to
How are
see you,
you
my
guys
friend.
doing today? How are you doing, Mr. Rocco?
Awesome, awesome. Good to see you. You look well, Dennis. You look good.
Definitely awesome.
How you doing, Mr. Dennis?
I'm doing well. Yourself? You're
Oh
not looking
man,
so
rocking and
tired
rolling,
today.
rocking and rolling, rocking and rolling. So I feel like because I know that this was kind of brought up for people who are kind of just tuning in, and some of you may have realized that maybe yesterday some news came out. You might be hearing about it today, possibly online news, maybe on the news today about some of the things that were discussed last night on the news that was televised when it came to the Trump, Mr. T, and announcing his stuff. So I felt that this was a good opportunity because there was a lot of feedback that not only do us who the guardians as we look at in the chats and all these, we also review all the people's comments. And we do that to make sure that everything is good. We didn't miss anything. So we kind of always looking to make sure that things run as smoothly as we possibly can. So we're looking through some stuff, and there were some comments that people were putting out there, some very low energy comments, and I understand that we're all frustrated. So that was the reason why I felt people were like, are you guys going to take a break today? And I felt like this is the opposite time to do that. And I feel like this is the time for us to really push forward. So that's the reason why I felt like we should have this get together, like we usually do on the Wednesday, and not put it off another week. So before we even get started anything, I just want to say thank you guys for all joining me. It's always an awesome blessing to have the two gentlemen that are always with me. Got my back. I know they always do. I have theirs. The same thing with you guys in the
Indeed.
Soul Tribe. I want you guys to know that we always have your backs as well, and and I know that you guys would have ours. So just tuning in every week shows us that you guys have our back. So that's amazing. So before we even get started, I also want to start by I feel like we need to raise the energy, not just for here in this chat and this live. I feel like we need to raise the energy for the whole, just the
Collective.
whole, the
Yep.
the whole the whole entire universe, just the whole in general. I feel like there's a lot of things that energetically are shifting. Astrology wise, everything. I feel like there's a lot going on in the universe, with energy, and I feel like we need to raise the vibration. So if you have your sage, your candle, your Palo Santo, or whatever it is that you don't even need that. This is just the intention
Incense.
part. But if you want to grab it and you want to light it, I'll go ahead and give you a few seconds to grab that. And we're going to go ahead and try to get started here with um, trying to raise the vibe, because this is what we're here for. This is exactly what our job is to do here, is light workers, and we're all light workers, all of us. We are here for this, and it's not going to be an easy job, as we said. And some of you are starting to feel this now. The longer we go into this, it gets tough, and it's just how we go about the journey. We're going to get to an end point no matter what. It's just how we go about the journey is what makes the difference, and how we portray what we want this to work out to be. So if you have your candle lit, I want you, or your Palo Santo, if you've got that, kind of clears the energy around you. And then I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to slow your mind down, and I want you to slow your breathing down. I want you to breathe in through your nose 2 to 3 seconds, and I want you to breathe out through your mouth 2 to 3 seconds. And I want you to bring into your heart, as we always speak about, whatever something that brings you the most joy. Bring it into your heart, a good memory, an interaction, an accomplishment, something that brings a smile to your face. And I want you to open your heart with that love. And with our eyes closed and our heart open, I want you to start to visualize bringing all the white light around you that is surrounds you. It's your light that we've given away so freely. And I want you to bring it in through the top of your head. And I want you to start to pull that energy and light in through the bottom of your feet. And I also want you to draw that energy in through your heart. And as this energy starts to flow through you, as you pull it back in, I want you to I want you to heal, and I want you to use this energy, replenish it. This energy is replenishing you. This energy is it's renewing you. It's lifting you. It's ascending you. It's healing you. And now we've done this and we're healing this energy, and I want you to push it out through your heart. And I want you to say the affirmations that, or whatever that you feel you want to send information out to the universe or who you want. And I want you to push this love out to the universe. And whatever affirmations you like to say at this time, I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am a divine being and creation of God. I am a soldier of light. I am grounded. I am rooted. I am renewing. I am healing. And I am ascending. So be it. And so it is.
So be it.
So shall it be.
And I'm a badass because I got the divine behind me.
True story. True story. Dennis, you're already freezing, man. Joe, you were jumping around, and Dennis, you're already freezing. So, welcome to the show. We're in it now.
Welcome to the show. It's going to be a long one, I think. I mean, just the everything.
So, I'm usually the first one to talk, and I'm going to kind of come back, and I want to change it up a little bit. I want to actually I want to start with you, Dennis. And I actually, if you don't mind, I actually just want to
no.
see, I want you just to kind of talk and just in general about how maybe someone can navigate some of these things. Maybe they're experiencing for the first time, or some of these frustrations, or something like that. Just whatever you feel spiritually that you like to share from your guides.
As far as what everybody's feeling,
Yeah, just whatever you feel you should share.
That wasn't happening when we were in backstage. You know that, right?
I know.
Now that
Oh, let's see. We just need to keep calm right now. Remember that what we're seeing is not as it really is. It's a movie. Everything happening, even this start of this World War III thing that they want to bring out, it's a movie. It's not really happening. So as long as we've got that in mind, just keep our focus where it should be, and that should be in the spirit realm and not in the world.
I agree. I mean, that's exactly what this purpose of this is. I want people to feel that, and it's true. I know we've said this and you've heard this many times that this is a movie. That it is a movie, and now it just flickered again right when I said it's a movie, and it's true. I mean, I know some of you who maybe just listening, the lights are flickering, and we always have technical difficulties, electronics every time we have our show because we pull spirit. So we say these things is because we're comfortable with that. We know, we feel that's what they want, and this is what spirit wants us to say. So when Mr. Dennis says that we're watching a movie, I resonate with that in my spirit 100%. And things change. And actually, I'm going to go to you, Joe, as well, and I kind of will go into that watching a movie thing because I want to also tie into something that I pulled today, like I always try to bring to the show. So I'm going to go ahead and Mr. Jade, whatever you feel Spirit wants you to say to the group about kind of what we're experiencing and some of these wisdom that maybe you could portray from your spirit.
yeah, I was getting timeline shift. I really, I'll be honest, I really have got rid of the day-to-day static. I consider this a lot of static. However, we still have to walk within this world. With that being said, I agree with Dennis. It's it's a show, and I'm sure we're going to discuss this further. But that's like I said, I did get a shifting timeline. That's all I can kind of say. But yeah, I'll wait to see how the rest of the things develop with what you say there, Jason.
So, just so everyone knows too, I mean, as I've discussed, I don't know, I had a vision in my dream that I've mentioned before. It was the Last Supper, and it was Jesus reaching his hands out to me. And then I had a vision getting out of the shower yesterday of all days, believe it or not, and I was drying my head off with my eyes closed, and I got a flash, of the goat's head pentagram, like what you see in satanic worship, and it came right at me. And I've had multiple visions of pentagrams being burned and all that stuff. This was years ago, but so I've always been tied to, I know exactly what these things are that I'm seeing. So when I got this pentagram, it came at me with the goat's head. The pentagram literally starts to turn and turn. And as it starts to turn, where the peak of the goat's chin is almost becomes vertical, the pentagram and the goat's head morphs into the tree of life, and the pentagram disappears. So that's what I got first thing yesterday. And when it mentioned something with what Joe said about timeline shift, I feel like that was maybe another confirmation from Jesus, is what I'm getting it from, I feel. And I feel like that's what I get, is that was a timeline shift, like saying the evil is being, remember I said I said a flip.
The twist, yeah, and the flip.
Flip. I kept saying from a long time ago, I kept saying this flip. And that's what it showed me yesterday, it was that vision. It literally flipped upside down and morphed into this beautiful tree. So
what I find interesting about that is you described that much slower than these last times that you had told me about this. As you're saying about this thing, it is a much slower turn. I picked up on that.
And I feel like it's because maybe I'm connecting more. I've been connecting more with spirit, and I've really been channeling a lot better. And I feel like that's maybe why things were slower for me. Usually I just get flashes, but I was able to slow it down. I know exactly what it was. And I feel like that's part of, so what I'm getting at is I saw that vision. And then we had this happen last night where people felt defeated. They felt deflated. Like we had this pump. And that was only because we put our own expectations on what we thought should happen.
Mm-hmm.
God, not to preach, but God and the divine doesn't work that way. That's the problem with humans, is it's in God's timing, divine timing. Even the cards will tell you that with the temperance card. Those are things like, it's divine timing. It's not going to happen a second before, not going to happen a second later. So I want people to realize that we put expectations out, and when they're not met, we get deflated because we put false expectations out of what we were expecting to happen. So that's what I want people, even people who think logically, hopefully that made sense to you as a logical thinker and not as a feeler even. So I felt like I wanted to start off with the vision that tells me that the good is, I've been shown many times that the good is won. We've won. I've been in dreams of Trump on missions. I've done this. I'm telling you, we're fighting this spiritually. And I also want you to know, like, this is, when they say this is a battle for your soul, and how this is also a battle of your mind, a battle of your mind. So what that means is, that's why they divide, is they can control your mind easier when you're divided. When you're brought together, it's harder to control that aspect, because you have support. You feel like you're supported. You're not alone. So what I want people to know, they're battling for your mind, because your mind leads to your thought, and your thought leads to your actions and your words, like we talked about in previous shows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all connected. So that means it's a battle for your soul through your mind, because your actions will lead to what you do in life, good or bad, light or dark. That's why it's a battle of your mind, if that makes any sense to anyone. So I'd like to kind of see what you think. What do you think about that there, Mr. Dennis? Does any of that sound like quackery, or does any of that resonate with you?
You're a quackery. No, that's what I'm getting is it's a plan. We all heard the words, the plan, and we all expect the plan to work in our favor. And so we think that the plan is our plan, but it's not. We're not supposed to know the details, and it's not really Trump's plan. It's God's plan. And no one's going to know what God's plan is. It's just we got to know that in the end, it's going to work out in time.
Mhm.
Absolutely. That's well said, my friend. Well said. I agree. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that, Mr. J?
I've kind of cut this all out of me, but the collective today, exactly what you said. And I went back and I literally didn't realize Volcano Shores was going to stay on until after Trump. Trump was on. I was like, that'll be an hour plus, so that was it for me. But one of the things I realized in the chat, one of the things I saw was there was a few people really adamantly pushing a little bit of negativity in the sense of all you naysayers, you buck up. And there was a couple nasty words going on there. And I get it. Okay. But you can't tell people how to think. Bringing up vibes is one thing, but you can't force your bullshit on someone else. And, there was actually a couple of people I went in and they're going to be blocked because they were just very nasty. It was beyond, it wasn't even a nice decorum. It was uncalled for. And it was a name there was two names I didn't even recognize from the chat. So, I don't know what that was about, but when I went through the last section, there was a whole bunch of names that I've really never caught before. So is that a psyop? Is that a bot coming in to our collective? We're seeing them more and more kind of in that community type thing. You know what I mean? With this type community. But one of the things I got today was Schumer goes down. It was, it was an odd energy. I interpreted it as death. That's the only thing I can interpret it as because I didn't understand this feeling. It was something a little bit different. So I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm just saying this is what I felt. But it was an odd energy, so I'm just going to call it as death somewhere in there. Is that with him? Is that with someone close around him? I don't know. And then, the other thing, everyone was on, I guess Pelosi will no longer be the speaker, correct, I guess. Her husband has something to do with the elections, the machines, investments. He has something to do with that. I don't know how true that is, but I just kept seeing him with like he was behind a keyboard. We know that won't happen. But but with her being out of this position, that's another chess move that's could add any number of scenarios. What was it?
The whole chat just disappeared and came back. The whole thing.
But I look at it this way. I'll cheer when it's over or I'll cry when it's over. I just think if you're going to follow this, you need to realize, keep your faith up, keep your strength up.
Keep your spirits.
Look, it's lose. Yeah, but it's lose if you submerge yourself in this. Plain and simple. It is, as far as an emotional standpoint.
Oh yeah.
You have to balance it. You have to balance it because you're only setting yourself up for, not just a roller coaster, but a spike and a cliff. So be prepared for that. Fight the good
Your
fight.
armor of God is only as your armor of God is only as strong as your spirit is.
Exactly. Yeah. I did a little video on that this morning about that, everyone talks about suit up with the armor of God. No, the armor of God is our spirit, is our soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's protective. They can spiritually attack our body and our mind. They can't touch our spirit. That's just
Mm-hmm.
it. So when we talk about suit up, we're not suiting up, we're shedding this water sac. We want that spirit to come out. But yeah, thanks for reminding me about that, Dennis. And that was kind of spirit led, it's one of those things where this is our strength. So with all this going to be going on for the next 2 years, realize that it's going to be an ugly movie for the next 2 years.
And honestly, I mean, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I just want people to know that. I mean, not saying that it's going to affect every person individually. Every person is going to be affected differently, just like this whole scenario has been. Every person's been affected differently in some way or another. And and I can speak I have a personal issue as well. I mean, my wife literally retired from nursing, because of this scenario that's been going on. So, and because they were trying to force her to stick a needle in her arm. So that she didn't want to put in there. So, I mean, she had to make a choice, and at this point, it just, every person's affected differently. So I just want people to know that once again, it comes back to, this is a battle of your mind. And from both sides, from the dark and the light. It's a battle of your mind, because what you think, once again, as we talk, your thoughts are just as powerful as the words you speak.
Breath. Yep.
Your thoughts are just as powerful as the actions you do. It's just another form of energy transfer. That's the difference. And I want people to realize that's why they're battling for your mind. That's why the God and the devil are battling for your soul. It's so important. And how does the devil get to you? Through your mind.
Yep.
Deceives you. Right? We're finding out the devil has been running, our whole world has been run by the devil. Pretty much. Not saying everybody and everything, but a huge chunk of
The
it has
prince
been
of the
run by the
air.
dark. And that tells me, like, this has been a battle of your mind. Why do you think they came out with MK Ultra? It's a battle for your mind, because your mind leads to the actions that you do, and it divides us. We're easy to manipulate that way. And I want people to realize that that's what I mean, is this is going to take some mental fortitude. Mental fortitude, as I mentioned before on the live Kristen's and Jason's. There's times when I was in the shit, okay, in the shit in the military, and there's a lot of times that people realize, like, you feel defeated, you feel down, whatever, things aren't going right, you're tired, you're just worn out. But you know what? Inside, you just can't, because you have somebody to your left and your right you're responsible for. And I want people to realize that's exactly what you're here for. You're here as a collective. So just think of this as you're part of a platoon or a company in the military, and we're in the foxhole together. My life and my spirit is just as important as yours, and vice versa. So we fight for the man next to us, not for ourselves. That's what I feel like people are really missing the point with.
Right.
We get selfish on things don't happen. I have problems. Yes, we do. We all do. But people need to realize that it's about the man next to you. God and Jesus and the light, that's what they're about. They're about the sharing, they're about the giving, they're about the helping. And what was
Selfless.
happening, what I was seeing, almost broke my heart. Seeing the comments in the chat last night, from people who are supposed to be light and love. And I understand we're frustrated. And yes, we're not supposed to tell people how they think and what they're supposed to think. That's not what we're saying. But your energy can affect others.
You see what I have up there?
10,
It says mind 10, 5, 10, 5, 10, 5. Well, 10's completion. The 5's the division. Cuts us in half. Right before you were saying that, I had started writing that. It is, it's a, this come to me. So I mean, that
service
right
to
there
others.
acknowledges the division.
It
And
is.
I wrote it like I said, everything comes to me in threes, and that was plain as day. Plain as day.
I want to just also, I know we're talking about this, but something, I get these downloads. So some of you guys have been listening. Maybe if you haven't, if you're new, welcome. And I want you to know, like, I get these downloads, and when I get these downloads, as I've discussed before, I just kind of go with it. Even if it doesn't make sense or whatever, I just go with it.
Mhm.
So something out of nowhere told me today to look up November 16th and spell out November 16th, which is today's date, in the Gematria calculator. And I know that some of you may feel this is gibberish, but to me, a lot of this stuff resonated with me like wholeheartedly. So I'm just going to share a few with you guys. So it came up to 1569 in the Jewish calculation. Just a few that stood out to me. I could have kept going, but just a few off the first page. Shall we play a game came up. Does that make any sense? Does that ring a bell for anybody? Shall we play a game? If you know what the 17 board is about, then that will ring a bell for you.
War games.
War games as well.
also.
Exactly. War games. Exactly right. Because where was Biden yesterday? At a war summit, or talking about, and all of a sudden they were attacked about war, whatever this was that they were going through. Also came up under 1569. Huge win. Fight for what's right. 1569. And so the sleepers awake.
Ooh.
Do you know
I
that
haven't seen that one yet.
You know why Trump did that? He wasn't meant to introduce himself into the presidency like this early into the game, but he did that because it was a chess move, which says he says this when it starts now. He's telling you this is the military. He's telling the military we're gonna rock and roll now, and also realize that he had him saying he was a big announcement. He had international news coverage. He doesn't get that. He gets the CNN and all them that film his rallies, but they never put anything out. They just have tape of it so they can belittle it. But this was televised worldwide because they thought he was going to do this. So he got an international audience for people who may not have heard. Even CNN was playing this. Fox News. I mean, this is amazing. So the sleepers, he was talking about how bad things were before he came in and how good they were while he was here, and how shitty they are now with him out of office again. So it was to kind of wake people up a little bit. Also, what I got, taking care of business, which is 1308 in the English breakdown.
Elvis
So everything from this point is 1308. What was that, Dennis?
Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Taking care of business.
Taking care of business in the flash.
So first thing that popped up, 1308 as well. Where we go one, we go all. A dark night, that's Knight, to remember. Who's the Dark Knight?
I'm Batman.
Batman.
I am Batman.
And what did he say? I'm Batman.
I am the knight.
The enemy of the people. And who did he talk about last night? The deep state. Make the world great again. John F. Kennedy Jr. 1717. Operation Sunrise. So I was like, what is Operation Sunrise?
Never heard of it.
This is what Operation Sunrise was that came up. Operation Sunrise, sometimes called the Berne, Berne incident, was a series of World War II secret negotiations from February to May 1945 between representatives of Nazi Germany and the United States to arrange a local surrender of German forces in northern Italy. So most of the meetings took place in the vicinity of Bern, Switzerland, and the lead negotiators were Waffen SS General Karl Wolff and American OSS agent Alan Dulles. The meetings provoked Soviet suspicion that the Americans were seeking to sign a separate peace with the Germans and led to heated correspondence between Joseph Stalin and Franklin Roosevelt. So, Operation Sunrise, which means what? They were negotiating. This was like some type of a war negotiation. So that's why I wanted to share that with you. This is something related to World War II, and we've been talking about. He mentioned last night World War III. I mean, literally, that's what he thinks he's been talking about. So that means that tells me Operation Sunrise. It came up. It resonated. There's something going on behind the scenes. And then I also got opening the curtains. Scare event upon us. You are the chosen child. A bald Secret Service agent. If some of you may know, a bald Secret Service agent likes to play with his fingers all the time, walks around kind of tall, walks soon as they walk in in 16. Yeah, they're saying that may be JFK Jr. That's why it resonated with me, because John F. Kennedy Jr. came up above this. So, and then I got, they are in panic. I am back, baby. Speak your truth. Entrance to the golden age. What did he talk about last night? Literally, those were some of the words he used. America's golden age, or something along that line. Reptilian Holocaust.
Oh.
End of New World Order. That's what I got when I got a download to look up November 7th or November 16th. And also, if you don't follow the Julian calendar, today is 11/3 on the Julian calendar. So that's also something to think about. I'm not trying to do this. I'm just saying, like, when I get downloads from Spirit, there's a reason why I get that, to look that up. So I wanted to share that with you, that some people may, oh, this doesn't mean, but those things resonated enough for me to pull them out and write them down in my book. So that tells me I was very, very connected to that. So I just wanted people to know that besides the visions and this, I mean, there's a lot to this, guys. I don't want you to be defeated. There's going to be, this is what this is. They wanted to defeat you. So why do you think they threw out the rockets? That was supposed to be to start World War III because of what Trump was going to announce. They were afraid of what Trump was going to speak. That's why they did that. And then it came back when usually it would be the opposite. Trump said, I think it was from a Russian rocket. He said that on TV. And then Biden turned around later and said, it's not. It was a Ukrainian. It was an accident, basically. So that was a false flappy thing that they tried to do to start World War III that was diverted because of what Trump did. There was 4 different versions of that speech that he was going to give last night. So some of you know, based on what was going to happen throughout the day. So that's why you feel like he was, if you look at Trump at first, he was almost upset when he was talking at first. Like he almost was pissed, almost like a pissed feeling to me. And then from there, he kind of was calmed down. I feel like they told him, calm it down. Don't put out more information than you need to, because I know Trump just wants to let it fly. I know he does. He's not a quiet person. He's not. He's an alpha and he talks. So he talks what's on his mind. He just says it. He lets it fly. So they were in his ear chirping on, I promise you, last night. So I just want to pass it around and see what you think. I know, Dennis, you've been following Truther stuff. I mean, what do you feel?
Feel cold right now.
It's snowing here too. Where I'm at.
It's not snowing here. It's just cold.
32 here.
Really?
Yep.
Well, let's see. Do you all remember from the show he was showing last night, how many flags were there?
I think there was 19 in the middle.
There was
and then
19 flags.
6 to each side.
Yep, 19 flags, and each flag had a silver eagle on the top, which is a war.
That's a war, right? Yeah.
The only problem I had, and I don't know what the comm was on this, but each flag had a gold fringe on it, which is the Maritime Admiralty. And we're supposed to be off of that if we're a republic. So I don't know what the comms were on that one.
What I get from that is because of the fringe and the change in the eagle saying that we're going to war with you. This is the go. This is a go now. So people know this is the go. So they won't take the fringe off the flag until the new republic is announced.
Okay.
So that's why it has to be publicly dissolved by the military. So that's what it is. The military is the only way. That's the only way that this can go, guys. Only way.
The only other thing I had was, if you see lights flickering on either Soldier of Light or myself, pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's something important.
Exactly.
As your light just flickered.
As my light just flickered. Pay attention to me.
Exactly. And that's it. Honestly, this is not the. Just honestly, there's a lot to this, guys. This is a psychological warfare. This is exactly what this is. Think about this. They're trying to undo literally thousands of years of indoctrination. They've been working. This isn't just something that they just started working on. They put plans out so many hundreds of years in advance. They know exactly what it is because they can control it. And I also wanted to know. I also this kind of stood out to me. I saw this little clip today, and I'm not a TikTok guy because I don't go on that stuff because it's all owned by communist China. But I saw a clip from TikTok, and this person actually made a very good. It stuck to me, and it was about our collective consciousness. And what he was speaking about was the fear and our ability. We talked about on the show. It basically comes down to what we think leads into what our reality will become, because the energy we put out is what we're going to project. So that tells me, like they're saying about like the Cold War, that's why the media pushes this fear, guys, because this is a battle for your mind. They push this through the media. That's the most powerful thing that they can do is media, mass media. So every time you turn on and you look at your newspaper, you look at your internet, you look at your TV, it's the same thing getting regurgitated in different forms, but it's getting regurgitated. So it's just like, okay, swallow, swallow, swallow. Okay, I like it now. I'll accept it. It sounds okay. It's because that's what they want. So what they're doing is they're altering timelines and futures by doing that. So what that means is if they want to put the fear out, we're going to have a really bad outline and outcome on a timeline because we're projecting that fear of what they're sending us. If that makes sense, we're a mirror of what we put out. So if it means what that means is if we stay positive and we're in the positive and we project that, even if we're getting barraged with these things, that was what will affect the collective consciousness. So we'll be able to project a future of light and not of dark. So that's why I'm saying that you're very important in this scenario. You're important in this scenario.
Can I tell you what I got?
Absolutely.
Just when you were saying that, the old expression, there is no I in team, that in media there is an AI. I don't know what that has to do, but I just got that, just wrote that down.
Wow.
That was like, there is an AI in media. Think about that. That's pretty deep, if you ask me.
So it's amazing.
And that the Silver Eagles was, or the Silver Eagles on top of the flagpoles, is that the word to the deep state, or is that the word to the Democrats? Well, it's one and the same.
Deep state.
Yeah, but the Democrats are technically
Deep state.
Deep state.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm going to tell you this. I know some of you guys, even with some of your favorites out there,
Oh shit!
there's going to be a lot of people spun.
Wait, you ready? I
Yeah.
just realized this. In media, okay, Dem AI. Media, MED. Dem AI. But that first one,
wow.
artificial intelligence. I mean, dude, that's.
Or you can also
That's
go
not me.
with demon AI.
Yeah,
Because they say that AI is demonic.
Exactly.
So wow.
The AI got me in the media. That was like, poof, and you get that.
Man.
Hey,
That was deep, dude.
that was.
That was amazing. Wow. High five, Spirit.
Yeah, boom. No, I ain't doing that. Last time. That was messed up.
It's true though.
Yeah.
That makes a total sense. I kind of spun. The Spirit gave that to you as we were talking about. It's a battle for your mind and your spirit. Dem AI.
Yeah, and there it is. And then it was like, hey, there's no I in team, but there is an AI in media. Okay.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. A true story. So what that means is that's why I wanted to get back to the negativity, because the fear. So now there's fear. Now there's people are pissed. They're upset. So what we do, we start projecting that energy into the universe, and that timeline gets altered then. That's the reason why these timelines are getting altered. What's your say? Santa, Satan. Exactly. Exactly right. Anagrams. I mean, there's power in words, guys. That's why they call it spelling.
Mhm.
Spelling, because you put spells in what we speak. Those are powerful because it's the intention behind it. So, yeah, there's an anagram calculator, huh? You know what? That's exactly right. I think I might have to start doing that because I started breaking words up just for the calendar. If you guys remember that, I did the calendar.
Yeah,
Spirit told me do the calendar months. Things don't make sense. So that's where I started breaking that down. So when I get these downloads, same thing. That's amazing. Anagrams all the time. You'll see anagrams everywhere.
They all have, just
There's
like
a reason for
symbols,
that.
they all have meaning.
Exactly. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
They have codes in there. That's why they do these things. There's codes. They speak through numbers. They speak through symbology. And honestly, once people understand the symbology, the veil will be lifted.
Yeah, I'm getting better peaks. I really am. I mean, that's almost,
Symbology.
yeah. I mean, the veil is getting. Some days it's very thin, and I can just about see through it.
Well, the 17th letter said that too. The symbology will be their downfall.
Oh.
So I mean, just we're figuring it out. We're in this game now. We're putting the pieces together, and that's what I want people to realize is this is a war. And just realize this: as a soldier who's been in the shit, been in the mud, laying in the freezing cold. I mean, just nasty stuff, and you're fighting this war from your comfort of your home with your conveniences, however many you may have, small or big.
Right, and you assume they'll be there also.
So I'm telling people is this is a different battlefield. And I know it's hard because you're battling your own battles every day of your life just to survive. And now we throw this on top of you that says, hey, not only are you fighting for your own lives and your own people around you, you're fighting for the collective. So I want you to know that just because you're online, you are digital. That's what digital soldier means. And I know that sounds like a generic term, but it's not. You're just as important as if you had BDUs and boots on holding an M16 or M4 now. So that's just the same. Your tool is your ability to put your energy out. So that's why I really wanted to focus on the negativity part, because you're going to get barraged with that stuff. And as Joe said, they are planted. There's people who get planted in our chats and all these truther communities to literally destroy and divide because they get paid to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's an AI bot that's somebody sitting there just doing and they send it off from some AI bot farm in Africa or wherever in these tents that they have them. So I mean, they're all over the world.
It would do well if we just ignore them and just block them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't
right.
have a discourse with them.
Right.
If all they're trying to do is just tear us apart anyway, so just block them out.
But they knew you're vulnerable after that. You know, white hats, dark hats, the republic, the corporation, all the spins. Okay, they know because it's divide, slice it up, slice it, dice it. You know, that's just it. That's why I kind of pulled myself away from it, because it is not just a fractal. Each fractal is it's not even. It's like watching cracks in a glass just go out. It only takes a little tap for it to all shatter. I can't do it because it takes up a lot of energy. If you would have felt that energy I felt out there today.
It takes up too much energy.
Right. The collective is, you're right. They're beat up. They're beat up.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to talk. I mean, I feel like this is important. You know, we always talk about spirituality, you know, and this is the perfect thing. This was a perfect example of why we have this roundtable, was what happened yesterday. Because as spiritual warriors, we're gonna get knocked down. We're gonna lose battles. You understand? Even the U.S. military, the best well-trained fighters in the world, lose battles, but we win wars, and vice versa. So I want you to know that we may lose a battle here and there, but you know what? We still keep moving forward. That's what the purpose of this is.
And we will have casualties on the side too.
we're going to go to a beautiful place, guys. I'm telling you, it's happening. The golden era of where we're going is coming. So I want you to, so what I want you guys to do as soldiers for us, or for me and yourself even, if you see somebody like who's down or upset, like what Dennis mentioned, don't butt heads and interact with them, because what that does, that lowers your frequency, and they're bringing your energy down when yours was up. What you do is just, you can either block them, send them away, whatever it is, you can say, I understand, comfort, whatever it is that you try to do, but you don't have to do it in a negative way. And I just want people to know that this is something that's going to be a long haul. I mean, some of you guys have been awake for 20, 30 plus years, man. Think about them. Some of us have only been like myself, like fully awake, I would say, or not fully, like no one's fully awake, but I mean, a majority of the awake probably the last 5, 6 years now for me, 7 years almost, I feel. And I'm just a baby in this. So think about some of these people who've been waiting for this for 30 some years to happen. Like Dennis. He's been waiting for this. And he still has a beautiful flow.
Guys are awful slow getting there though,
It's all
my ascension's bigger than yours.
Can I make a comment? Dennis posted something on Facebook today. It was a 70s music, and boy, I got to tell you, this is a joke, okay, but 70s style for men. I don't know how a woman looked at a guy in the 70s and went, I got to get me some of that, because those outfits were so bad. I mean, they were bad to a point of like, I was like, is that for real? He's wearing pink stripes. It was great. I so appreciated it. I love the song. The outfit was just, I'm just trying to make light of it, but it was so horrible.
Yeah, we wore such great outfits back then, didn't we?
Hey, I was a young man then, but it was like, I never, I mean, that was something on Don Kirshner's or Ed Sullivan or something like that, but wow, the outfits were just horrendous. I mean, women still looked nice, but men's clothing was just horrid. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Sorry.
That's amazing. No, that's exactly right. I looked at some horrendous pictures from myself when I was a kid in the 70s. And
oh, Lord, don't remind me.
I remember what it was like. I mean, I was looking at it, like, wow, man, none of that stuff matched. I'm like, Mom, what were you thinking? She's like, I'll let you wear whatever you want. So
I was in stripes and plaids at the same time.
Oh, yeah. And I even can remember they threw Paisley in with that, too.
Getting it. Cowboy boots and shorts. No, that I want to see. That's the catwalk. I want to see some catwalk action.
Everything was pro kids until jocks came around. But every tennis shoe was a pro kids, and then there was the store brand, but Jocks was like the nationwide brand that no one saw coming out of nowhere. And they were horrible shoes, by the way. I wore them. They were horrible. Okay, can we get off this kick? Sorry.
No, it's good. It's funny. We're laughing. That's awesome.
I was just mentioning, if you get a chance, if you follow Dennis on Facebook, it's worth it. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm always like liking all of Dennis's like little comments he puts on like Instagram, or not Instagram, Twitter. He puts them on Twitter, and I'm always like, nice comment. And just how he says these things to people, I'm like, nice. I always just laugh, and then I heart it, and I'm like, nice. That's a good one, man. Or I'll comment. Sometimes if it's really good, I'll comment. I'm like, nice one, man. That was good, because he like wakes people up.
It's respected. Really? It's respected. It's one of these things, like if you've ever been in a fight and, you get hit with that hard jab, it's like, boy, this isn't going to be easy because you just took a hard jab.
The first fight I was in the ring, the first punch that was thrown was the guy punching me in the nose and back like that, And then you got to determine whether or not you're going to just fall or you're just going to get up and go, much like it is now.
Yeah.
You either fall or you get up and go.
That's exactly right. That's a beautiful segue. That's like we kind of talked about. It's like the old Rocky saying, it even says, if you get knocked down, it's not if you get knocked down, it's if you pick yourself back up and keep punching. So
What's that?
that's what that is. It's perfect, right? I mean, we're fighters, even if you're not a literal fighter, and I'm not saying like physically, but you're a spiritual fighter. This is a spiritual fight. You've always been in a spiritual fight from the moment you came on this planet.
Mhm.
And because then you started having free will, and your free will led you to the decisions you make, if you want to make them for the dark or you want to make them for the light. So what I'm getting at is that it's crazy. Like, I want you guys to know that you're going to get knocked down in life. We're not perfect beings. We're not perfect by any means.
Speak for
I'm not
yourself.
perfect. I can't sit here and tell you I'm going to preach to everybody and I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Jesus wasn't perfect. God is, who created all. Even the highest angels thought they were better than God. That's why they fell. They didn't like God, held us in a regard above the angels. And that's a true story. That's the part that they were very jealous about. Some of them that fell. So I want you to know that's how powerful you are. And I'm not a Bible thumper or anything like that. I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I didn't resonate with what the Catholics taught. I never resonated with that. I knew God. I could do God anywhere. And I never understood going into a building and worshiping people and kneeling and standing up and kneeling and standing up and kneeling. Very repetitive and very culture, or like very cult-like almost, very ritualistic. And I'm not saying people won't have their own ritualistics, things, because we all do, because we're creatures of habit. But because it's easy, once we get into a habit, it's easy. We put our brain on autopilot and we just do it. So I feel like that's part of what we're supposed to break out of that. So I mean, when it comes to this, I mean, literally, we're doing these things. God is everywhere. God is everywhere, guys, everywhere. He's in you. That's why when we do these healing energies, I want you to know that the light that you project out, that we pull back in and we give back out, is of God, and it's yours.
I got something on that.
What
Well,
did you get?
every angel name ends in L. Okay. Um, and the story of Enoch and his brother, they both became angels, Metatron and Sandalphon, Phon. Both of their names end in On. Okay. But imagine why they were not considered, why they were not putting into the religious books, because a human can achieve angelic realm. Okay, sorry, that's the mind fuck here. Pardon my French here, but
That's what this is all
imagine
about.
imagine you can't feed that to the people. Do you know what I mean? Because the people would want to strive for that.
Takes away the fear.
And it takes away the fear, exactly. So I mean, think about that. And then the thing that I found curious was those two, that ON on the end of each of their name. I mean, I get that they were brothers. I understand that they might have been twins, but at the same respect, their names specifically ended in ON, and all the angels' names end in EL. What are those two? What do they make? Noel. ONEL. Put it into a word. It's Noel.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. Thank you. That was awesome. My guys.
Very much so.
I
High
like that
five.
one. I like that guy. Like you did that one.
Yeah,
No, the
right.
AI
High
thing was
five.
pretty cool. The AI, but really, I mean, imagine it takes all the fear out of if you can achieve an angelic human, to achieve the angelic in the realm of God. Come on, we can't have none of that. Bad, you know. Just saying. Sorry, I went off on that.
No, no. I mean, I agree. Like we said, I mean, we're not here to tell people what you should believe.
Mm,
None of that. If you don't believe in God, or if you do, that's up to you. We're not here to judge you. It's whatever you feel resonates with you. If it's energy that resonates with you and frequencies, that's all right. Because guess what? It's all tied to the same. Whatever you want to title it, it's
right.
all the same.
It's
So I
one
want
creator.
that's amazing. No, I mean that's exactly right. So I also want to put out a little something too. ON, Jason,
Oh, man, look at you.
I'm dyslexic. It would be N-O.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Jasno. It's
I love it.
Jasno.
Jazz, no. No jazz.
Exactly.
I like how you just moved right into that. I'll give you that one. What did you say? Nice. Give you a little bit of respect on that one.
Yeah, no, that was exactly. And Metatron, for some of you who don't know, he's very powerful. Metatron is a very, very powerful archangel.
Yeah, I
So
believe
is
he's the
Sandalphon.
top archangel.
Yeah.
Yes. And Metatron actually helps you. If Metatron comes to you, they actually help with your intuition. His job is to help you connect with spirit and to God. That's what his main job is to do, is help you spiritually, like intuitively. He helps connect you to spirit.
Mm.
So Metatron is very, very powerful, and so is Sandalphon. They all have their own role. They all have all these archangels all have their own roles,
Right.
specifically on what they're supposed to do. A hierarchy. There's a hierarchy, just like in the military. There's a reason why that these are that way they are, and they're all here for the same reason, though, guys, to help you get to that point. If that's where your journey ends, of your wings come spreading out and you're an angel on this earth, that's their job, is to help you get to that point. If your job is just to ascend when you pass on and become a beautiful being of light with no angel wings, whatever that looks like, that's what they're here to do.
Right.
And I want you guys to know that this is just flesh suit, where this is a flesh suit that we're in.
Yep.
That's a true story. And people realize that everything that's tied to this has nothing to do with our journey. It may feel like it at the time because we're stuck in this avatar, or whatever you want to call it. But really it doesn't, because reason why we come here is to learn these things, to help us grow and ascend. The pain, because as a spirit, as a being of light, you don't have the emotion. You just have one emotion: love, giving. You don't have the pain that you're feeling. You don't have the anxieties, the hurts, the aches, the love. Yeah, and actually, the thing is, the interactions that you may be good or bad. So we come down here to help us ascend by experiencing all these things, good or bad, and so we have the full spectrum of the experience. That's what helps us ascend, guys.
Can I throw something on that?
No.
Yes.
If you don't mind, I'm sorry. Okay, one of the things I've seen, because I went down this Boatman Road, they showed me grabbing people's souls, and the hardest part of that was it wasn't that it was death. I mean, they showed me these images, they showed me these flashes. The hardest thing about that was every time I went to get a soul, they every one of them said, I thought I had more time. Not the human, not like more time on earth. Their spirit, this water sac, it's of the flesh, but they didn't have time to do what they were here supposed to do, to learn the soul. That was sad.
Yeah.
And because they were coming back okay, I mean, they were coming back into this realm. It was, I mean, this wasn't a personal thing when you do this. This is hey, you're just going to get back on this next roller coaster, so you're coming back. But it wasn't about the human element. It was about, I thought I had more time to do what I was supposed to learn. Yeah, it was sobering. That was a hard one, but I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
That's they're here to help, but we have to be willing to either do the work or ask. Okay, what are we doing here?
Is that what that noise was? It was your dog?
I have no idea.
Oh, because I heard a noise. I'm like, there's something there in your room when you started talking. It's like something's like making a noise. But no, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, this is an experience. We come here to experience, as we mentioned, guys. That's exactly what this is for. And when it comes down to the time, even in all these movies and all this, why do you think they gave us something called a watch? And I know Mr. J. Rocco, he's the collector of watches from many generations, and he fixes them, and that's what he does. So he's focused. He knows about the time. But why do you think that they do that? Why do you think that time has been pushed on us so much in this lifetime?
Mm-hmm.
Be here at this time. Don't you have this appointment? This is a show is only this amount of long, whatever it is. I mean, we're put into these boxes, and I want people to realize, like, the time, that's what we have an abundance of. We're eternal. This journey here in this body, people don't realize is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because what we do is focus on the time. Everything is time. What that does is bring your energy down, because then you get anxious. Oh, I have to be there at this time. I'm going to be late. I don't want to be late. I need to get this done, because of what everyone has taught us to be like. So the thing is, I want people to realize you have nothing but time. This is just like stopping at the rest stop along your journey. If you're going to Florida, let's say, driving to Florida from wherever you are, and you stop at the rest area so you can use the bathroom and look around for a minute and stretch your legs. That's what this is right here, guys.
A couple things on watches. When watches first came out, they were like, we called them pocket watches, but they weren't meant for your pockets. Only the ultra rich could afford them, and they wore them around their neck as status. Okay, it's a chain. It's meant to pull you down. Same thing with a pocket watch. It's a chain. It's attached to time. And the wristwatch, slavery, shackles. Every instance, it's a shackle. I mean, I'm fascinated by it. I know it in depthly, and I wanted to thank Gypsy real quick, if I can. I had called her when I was trying to figure out this third guide. That third guide is Metatron, and because I'm not even in that ballpark, you know what I mean? That's like the big guy. I'm like, it's this energy. Who's this energy? You know? And Gypsy, just real cute, Metatron. I'm like, oh my god, I never thought of that. She gave me another name, you know, but I was like, but yeah, I confirmed it's actual Metatron. And the interesting thing about that is, they say that Metatron will speak for God. In other words, the angels have to go through Metatron to get to God, and Metatron will speak for God. And I just thought it was interesting, because everyone always makes comments about my voice, that like I have a guide that is, it's associated with voice. So that was pretty cool. It was for me anyway.
How about you, Dennis? Is there anything you want to about Metatron?
Well, I think my guide is Donald Duck.
You know what?
Scrooge McDuck.
I wish my laugh could be on Kristen and Jason's show, because every time Dennis is posting in the chat and I'm reading and I'm sitting there giggling, he gets me through. I'm just saying, he gets me through.
What do you think about? Is there anything you want to add about Metatron there?
Oh, yeah. Think of a magician where the right hand is doing the time. They're keeping you focused on the time and not letting you see what they're doing with the left hand.
Exactly. It's all symbolism, without a doubt.
Yep.
Well, and I told you, remember I got these downloads about the hourglass and the time and being flipped and all that, and the shapes of like how I got maybe the earth was at the time, and I was getting these downloads because it was symbolic of the time, because maybe time, because it was being flipped, so maybe timelines are being flipped. I keep seeing that, and that's all about our projection. And Tanya, I'm going to pull up one of your questions. What do you think about manipulating time in 3D? Is that psionic skill to be harnessed? So, absolutely. And here's the thing, Tanya, and just in general. I mean, I'm gonna let the other gentleman speak as well. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna see what you think, Dennis. I want to see. You want me to pull the question back up for you?
Yeah, put the question back up. What is psionic? I have no idea what that is.
Well, let's look it up.
Well, that's why we have you.
The way I understand it, that is
Let me look.
a psychological skill that can be learned. That's the way. I don't know if that's the full meaning, but I'm
I'm
going
looking
with.
up right now.
I could play the theme from Jeopardy. Dun, 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 dun,
I'll
dun.
take psionic for 500.
It says psionics, a tabletop role-playing game, is a broad category of fantastic abilities originating from the mind, similar to psychic abilities as some people claim in reality. Psionics are primarily distinguished in most popular gaming systems by one of the so it looks like it's manifesting things. So yeah, just looking at that, what I read on the psionic skill, absolutely. I know that without even when you ask, are we able to manipulate time? Absolutely. And that's how when we talked about at the beginning of the show is we manipulate time and timelines based on the energy we project. So that means if we want to continue down this dark road, and this is exactly where we're going to go, and to that timeline, and we're going to stay on that timeline, and we're going to manage that. And like I said, time doesn't really exist. It
Right.
doesn't, because you're infinite.
It only exists on 3D.
Exactly.
We manifest it, but it doesn't really exist. It's like a hologram in a way.
Exactly. It doesn't exist. It only exists
you can manipulate a hologram.
Like the money, like the paper money. It's only useful because somebody says it's worth something. The same scenario comes with the time. It's only there because we put a value on it. Yes, do we get older as we get? Yeah, absolutely. But we focused on I'm getting older in this journey. But we focus too much on the time, because if you look at it from a perspective, it doesn't exist because you're in the beginning and you're going to be at the end.
Every town had a large clock, large towering over the city. Why? Think
Big
about
Ben.
it. Well, it's just control. Yeah, the ominous time. The time was over you. I mean, if you can't see the symbolism in that, because they were always up high so that you could see them. Do you know what I mean? The clocks that were down low was for a reminder. Remember that. This was presence. This was task.
Another thing that's flipped too, if you look at a clock in general, like he says, like Big Ben, just everywhere is time. I mean, Times Square. The things that they're throwing at you. And here's the thing: when it comes down to the time, you look at the clock, right? If you really want to look at, technically, if you look at arms on a clock as they intersect, there's points where it looks almost like a Freemason compass.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing you look at too, I'm not saying that's who developed the clock, but they also there's 12 hours on the clock, right? 12 hours on your clock. But they're supposedly saying there's 12 months in the year, which we know isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
So they're changing, they're manipulating. So we see 12. Oh, so if there's 12 hours, that means that's how God made it, right? There's 12 hours in the daytime, or 24, but 12 hours in the day, 12 hours at night. And then there's 12 months in the year, so on and so forth. And if you look at that, just in that alone, 12, 12, 12, that's 36. 6 times 6, that means that's 666 multiple times. So, I mean, just saying, like, there's so many things that's why they manipulate and they make you look at it. Look, this is our system that we put in place. You see the 12 mark on your clock? Yeah. You have to keep an eye on your time. This is our timeline you're in. That's what they make. That's the reminder for us, saying you're in our timeline. Mm-hmm. This is what we're doing. So that's why I feel like this is like what we mentioned in the beginning of the show. We did have a shift in time. Last night on the what you call it, what's the resonance? Schumann resonance. Huge energy spikes last night. Huge. So, I mean, of white, beautiful light. So that means we're getting downloads. We're getting these energy. We're getting things on a consistent basis. So this is all about energy. It can't be destroyed and it can't be created. Only God can do that. Energy can only be transferred in one form or another. That's consistent. So that's what we're doing. We're just transferring energy. So that means even our thoughts transfer energy, our words transfer energy, our actions transfer energy. So let's transfer that energy to what we want. That's what we talked about last week before this stuff. Project that we already have won. Project that this already happened. Project that the EBS is already here. Project that the gold standard is here. Project that we're all financially wealthy. Project that you're laying in a med bed or whatever it is that you want to project that out. And that's your timeline. The more of us that do that collectively, we change timelines. It comes back to your question, Tanya. We change and manipulate time and timelines by doing that as a collective. So yes, I feel that that's exactly what we do. Collectively, we have that power. We're going to be able to, as we activate DNA and all these things, we're going to be able to move. Like there's people who can move things with their mind. There's so many powers that we're going to have that people have forgotten. We're special beings. And we're going to learn that as we move in this journey. So keep it high.
When they reconnect the DNA strands, a lot of that's going to come out automatically.
Exactly.
We all have that power.
Exactly.
One of the things I wanted to bring up was you were talking about the Masons and everything like that. I'm a collector of time. I'm also fascinated by things that control. It's hard to see this, but this is a Masonic ring from about 1812. That's the oldest one I own. I have collections of all of these things. I'm fascinated by the enemy. I mean, anything like this, Jesuit, Scottish Rite, any of the old ones, I see for them, these were power. These were power. And I have robes that one is from 1847 with it was stitched with metal. It was stitched with metal back in the 1800s. Do you know how expensive that was? Stitched with metal. And the metal is actually gold. That's the amazing part. It's 70% gold. But that's just it. Everything was power with them, symbolism. This I keep in a drawer near my watches because I have Masonic watches. And see, this is a silver item that it has no power because it's silver. Now, if this was gold, the golds feel weird. They do. And I've had them and got rid of them because the gold will hold a bad energy. The silver does not.
Wow. And actually, as you said that, it flickered, right?
I'm
telling you, I mean, spirit, we connect. When we say these things, guys, I mean, it's just, if you're listening, just, and you don't see the videos, you don't get the full experience of what we see. I mean, energetically, when we put these things out, we get flickering lights, we get anomalies in our electronics. I mean, there's things that glitches all the time. I mean, literally, spirit is literally connected between us on this show. And it means when we put this information out, it literally is coming from spirit. It's not just coming from, people who are just rambling. It's literally because these are messages that they're telling us to portray to you guys. And I'm saying that we're above you or not. We're not. It's just that our task at this point in the journey is to help maybe push some of this along. And I feel like as myself, as like what Tanya just said in the chat, she asked that question. She said, totally resonates with me about the time thing. I just started getting downloads right now. I moved past something. So our job is the collective is to try to open up as many avenues and spiritually and open chakras and open ourselves up to the divine because we've closed ourselves off to the divine for so long. We've worshipped ourselves. And that's a true story. Anyone who says anything different, we've worshipped ourselves.
My screen just got real big real quick. I didn't understand it.
That means like we're always, it's always what can I do better? I have to do better than this person. Oh, I did such a great job. Pat on the back. This person did a great. We worship ourselves, and that's a good thing. I'm not saying don't love yourself,
right.
But what I mean is we got into the point of worshiping ourselves, our own accomplishments, our own greeds, our own things, and that's what the dark has pulled us towards. is you're better than the divine. That's what the devil did in the first place. Eat this. That's what supposedly, I don't know if that's true either, but the apple story, he went to Eve because supposedly she was easier to manipulate than Adam. And then he used Eve's womanly abilities to manipulate Adam to take the, and he was like, "Oh, just do it. If you take a bite of this, you're going to learn all the things you need to learn, or all the knowledge you need to learn." And that was him tempting. That means you said, "I am above God, the divine, and I'm going to do what I want to do." And that's why God gave us this free will, because he made us to be able to do that. Same thing with the angels. They have free will as well. That's why there's some that have fallen and there's some that aren't. If you're either your level is high enough or not. And it's what it comes down to, guys. It literally is a constant battle that we all have to go through on a day-to-day basis. Even the light, constantly battling. This isn't just some, the angels aren't just up there just sitting there with their feet kicked up, chilling out. They're having to constantly help people's battles down here or in other realms. They're all over the place. Like I feel we all are at some point. I feel we go and we travel other places to help others as well.
I really do try to approach things selflessly, especially in this, because I understand we do these to help. Okay. I don't like, and people look towards us. Okay. Don't look upon anybody or elevate any one person above anything, because the whole idea behind this source, God, creator, that's what it is. It has nothing to do with this vessel, these salt bags. That's just it. I get, if anyone has ever talked with me, I get super uncomfortable about things, or we all got gifts. I understand that.
Hey, Joe?
Yeah.
I think you have a TV on.
Oh, that popped on. That's what it was. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry. He's turning off his TV. As he turned off the TV, it flickered on Dennis's screen right there. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to transfer the power to Dennis." Go ahead and finish, Jay.
He just wants me to show Joe about time. If you focus on the right eye and then on the left, the right eye is the hours and the left is the minutes. I can show you a quarter.
I've never heard that one. I'd love to hear that.
I can show you a 2:45.
I love him. I do so much. Oh shit! Excuse me.
You were saying something, Joe, before.
Oh yeah. But anyway, about people, look. There's certain things about when you look at someone, admiration. It's the big guy. It's not us. I mean, don't get confused. We're here to help. We're here to walk with you, not in front of you.
Right.
And there's going to be some that we have to drag. Okay, we're willing to drag you. But what I'm saying is we're all in this thing fully. That's just it. And listen, you saw last night Jason with his readings. He was on fire. He was connecting like hell. And I see that it takes its toll on him. And I know it energizes him, but it also beats you up mentally. It's a lot of energy. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just one of those things, but, all this stuff is a privilege, a humbling privilege. It's no different. I talk to people all the time. They all have gifts. It's just one of those things. We all have something. Don't be looking for what is me, what is my purpose. It'll come. There's nothing wrong with being a mother. I mean, come on. I've said this before. Is there anything greater than bringing someone into this world that may affect the world? Is that so minute? That's probably the most powerful thing you could be. I mean, just my opinion, but I'm sorry. Anyone can be your father. There's only one person that can be your mother. Period. I'm sorry, that's a touchy subject with me. Mothers are. There is nothing higher. If men were supposed to have babies, there wouldn't be shit for children here, people. So
There would be.
We'd go through that pain one time and go, had enough, done.
Yeah. No, well said, man. I mean, I totally get that, what you're saying, and that's what it is, guys. I mean, literally, we're here to walk with you.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's a true story. We're walking together. We're on a path. We're on a journey of beautiful new beginnings. I mean, in order for us to get to that, to the end point, guys, or to the other side of this, we're climbing a huge mountain right now. That's what people need to realize. And we're doing a chain gang to get up this mountain. We're having to pull people sometimes, and some that are stronger are going to help the weaker ones, just like they do in a wolf pack. If you know how it works in a wolf pack, they put alphas in the front of the pack. They put alphas also in the back of the pack. And the reason why is so that the alpha in the front can lead and protect, and also the alpha from behind can lead and protect any of the weaker ones that are in between, the elderly, the young. So that's how we look at this. And I'm getting goosebumps right now, and my hair is standing up on end. So that tells me that Spirit wants me to tell you this is what we're doing. There's some of us that we look at it as we're a wolf pack. We're all part of the same family. That means there's going to be some of us are going to be stronger at times than others, and our job is to help pull you along. And I feel like last night we saw a lot of face planting, tripping and face planting. Face planting is what I'm seeing a lot of this, face planting in spirit. And then when we got up, we have bloody noses and we have scraped up knees because we face planted. Now, some of us we're going to pick you up. We're going to dust your boo-boos off. We're going to pinch your nose for a second or two.
Careful now.
We're going to move forward.
Yeah, don't jinx
me with the dogs.
Done.
So that's what we're here to do, guys. We're here that's what I want you to do as well. All of you who are listening, if you are listening on the podcast, because this becomes a podcast afterwards for some of you who may not know. So, or if you're listening to the video, you guys all in this chat, that's what your job is to do. Don't be affected by things that you can't control. I know it's hard. As what Jay says, it's static. All this stuff, the truther stuff, everything is static. Static.
Focus on your soul tribe. We all have gifts, and as long as we know who has what gift, we can use that, and we don't have to pay attention to what's going on the outside.
And you need someone to bust your stones once in a while.
I'm here.
Just so you know. Oh, I know. I'm just saying, everyone needs someone that'll bring you down to earth once in a while. I have a few.
Flicker.
See that spiritual truth.
Exactly. Dropping knowledge. We all need our ass kicked sometimes. And that's a true story. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you this as a coach who's coached athletes for many years, all the way up to the semi-pro level, and as well as trained soldiers for many, not only just, but many lifetimes. I'm telling you, even myself, there's a lot of times in a lot of schools that I went to and a lot of training that will make people cry. I watch grown men who are very good in shape and we think they're mentally tough. And then I'm just making this an example. I mean, like air assault school, I watch grown men. This is rappelling. Air assault school is rappelling out of helicopters. And it's one of the harder schools besides Ranger school and special forces stuff. But for overall military, it's one of the hardest schools you can get into and succeed through. So at air assault school, I watch grown men cry and break down because the drill instructors were constantly just breaking them down physically and then see how tough mentally they were. So that's exactly what they're doing right now. what they're doing is they're testing us. They're testing our mental fortitude, testing our spiritual fortitude by smacking you in the head with a bat. That's what they just did. And they want to see how we're going to claw back. So that's the same thing that they're doing right now. They're pushing the envelope until they see you break. They want to break you. That's what the devil does. The devil chips and chips and chips and chips and chips and chips and chips until you're so beat down and weak, you just give up. And then he's won. And then he just engulfs you. That's what the dark does. So what I'm telling you, as just in general, as a light worker, as a trainer of soldiers, because you guys are all soldiers, and a trainer of you guys are here. You guys are the boots on the ground, literally in the digital battlefield. You guys need to play your role and be the light that you're supposed to be. Lift others up. Lift yourself up. Don't, if you get knocked down, get back up, brush yourself off, and refuse to quit.
Right. Have a little faith.
When they want us to back down now, this is the time. That's why I came on tonight, is to push forward, to elevate. That's what we're here to do. We need to push forward and elevate. We will not lose. We have already won. We will not lose. We have already won. What do you feel on that one there, Mr. J?
Ditto. That was a lot.
Dennis.
Ditto.
Ditto.
My ditto's bigger than yours.
That comes later.
Sorry.
You're jumping the gun now.
I did. I'm sorry. Well, I'm the young one, okay?
And that's where it starts. And that's why I feel like this is part of it, is the awakening.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to be active. They want us to be active. We weren't even active. We were activated. I want you. That's exactly. We're active because we were activated. That's the difference. That's why we're taking these. That's why Trump says, "I take these slings and arrows for you proudly." That's what we're doing. We're taking slings and arrows for the others who aren't awake, or we're bringing them along on this journey the hard way. And that's what we're at now.
God
We're
right
taking
here.
slings and arrows.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, Dennis?
And my mark is bigger than his.
That's a true story, guys. I mean, I don't know about Dennis's bigger than his, but not. What I mean is, that's a true story, guys. I mean, we're honestly we're so powerful, guys.
Get your mind out of the gutter,
I'm
soldier.
just giggling. I'm sorry.
I know, right? See, I start talking about military stuff, and my mind goes straight to the gutter. Pretty soon, I'll start dropping F-bombs like I'm saying hello. That's where we'll go.
I did it tonight. So
Sergeant Ramirez will
I'll
come
take
back
it.
out.
That's all right. I did it tonight. I just want to make sure people know I'm human.
Yeah. So
is there any questions?
we could. I mean, honestly, I mean, there's.
Yeah,
because that's what we've been doing, guys.
I can't see it.
You can't see the chat?
No, I'm trying to look on my phone, but I can't see it on my computer. And please,
If there's
people,
something that comes up, yeah, I'm going to say that.
Yeah, well, please don't people in the chat, don't tell me how to look it up on my computer. I don't care. I don't.
Well, Joe, it goes like this.
Yeah, exactly. See, listen, my VCR is still clicking 12 o'clock, and I'm fine with it.
What a coincidence.
I want to address, I want to say something that to Ocean Odell. He's one of our guardians for the Arcana Shores,
always there,
as well as this channel, and he brings amazing energy. He doesn't say a lot, but he just says very few words, but they're very, very heartfelt. And I just wanted to kind of mention that with Ocean, that I appreciate you coming into the chat, and you raise the vibration. Even in the moderator chat that we have on Telegram, you always send out beautiful love vibes. And Dennis's light is flickering as I'm saying this. So I just want to say that I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you guys here. So I just wanted to kind of give you a quick shout out there, Mr. Ocean Odell.
Truth.
So I don't see any questions. Same thing, Chris.
There is
Chrissy.
one. Judy has one.
Judy has one. Let's see. Where's Judy?
At 6:33 p.m. on mine.
Oh, that's way. I'm at the bottom of the chat. What was her question? Let's see what it is.
Why did Trump announce so early? Was this a chess move?
Yes.
Or to keep him from getting arrested?
So I don't know if it's part of the do what they arrested, but I feel like it was a chess move because of it pushed the deep state to make a move before they wanted to. That's what I feel when it came down to him announcing, because also he can't be arrested if he is a candidate. But I also feel like him announcing that is what I feel very strongly. Him announcing that actually pulled him away from everything else, the military that will step in. Because then what he's saying is, I'm going to focus on 2024. That pulls me away from the garbage in 2020. And then what it does is separates him from the military aspect that will come in. So I feel like that's the reason why he did it as early as he did. Plus, I feel like it was a chess move to deter what
I know.
what the deep state wanted to do. He deterred what that false flappy thing. So I feel like there was something to that. And I feel like that was a chess move that they were going to use, and they blew their ammunition on that one. As we say in the military, they blew their load on that one too early. So it's done. I feel like that was a big chess move. That's why he kept saying, if you notice in his speech too, he said, I had China and Iran in check. In check. That's a chess term. That means no matter what, I'm already watching you, and you're pretty much done at this point. If I put you in check, you're done. So that means they were just waiting for the game to play out at that point, pretty much. I'm not a chess expert, but I know at least a little bit. I feel. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you play chess, Jay?
Yep.
So am I wrong on that one or no?
No,
Okay.
you're good. You're good. Yeah.
So
I actually did have the Star Trek chessboard from Kirk and Spock. Never could figure that out. But yeah, I actually did.
Oh, you mean the
like to play
3D chessboard?
Yeah, the 3D chessboard. That was a waste of money. Complete waste.
is that what these super? Oh, let me see super chats. Is it true that okay? I'm going to highlight this one. Thank you for your super stickers. I don't know where they went, but they've been disappearing on me. Is it true that executions took place behind the white screen at the Capitol? Do you want me to pull cards, sparks of light? I can do that real quick.
Do that.
Because I don't know the answer to that question unless I was there and I was
do it, soldier. Do it.
And I was pulling the button for the noose or ready, aim, fire.
My cards are bigger than yours.
And do you actually know when they do a military style execution that not all
but not really.
Not all not all the soldiers have a live bullet. And that reason why is they don't know which one is the one that was the actual bullet that killed them. Is
that for real? That is for real.
That is real. That's for sure. They'll put blanks in. They'll put blanks in the others, and the troops don't know. So yeah, that's how they work with it. And actually with the hangings too,
I always thought that was like an urban legend, but no, that's good to know.
No, and they do it. There's walls, like concrete walls that they have people stand by, and that's what they shoot. They shoot into a hill with a concrete wall, and then they put you down. So the same thing with like the hangings. They put you in your platform, and the soldier puts the noose around your neck. They don't even see it, and then they give you a shot to repent, and then they give the order. They have to give the order. The officer in charge of the execution has to give the order. So it's always an order of hanging, order to execute. So
get back to the question, will you?
So I hope that explains everyone. So yeah, that did. So there, I don't know, because I wasn't one of those that pulled the button or pushed the button for the hanging or the execution bullet. So let me see what the cards tell me. Is it true? The executions that took place behind the white screen.
That's in the back of the Capitol building, isn't it?
Yeah, not in the front because Nancy Drew was in the front of the Capitol yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep. Ha! You want to hear something funny? Spirit, I love you. So I got the 9 of Swords. So yes, they were fearful, the deep state. Then I got the Star card. So it tells me, yes, they were the star of the show at this point. And I got the 3 of Cups. So there was a collaboration. So there was multiple people that had this happen to them, as well as the people involved in this process. And then I got the Death card, literally. So that tells me that literally the death did happen. And then I got the 2 of Cups. So it was an agreed upon situation that the White Hats had I feel, with the deep state of where they were going to be executed and at the location. So it was an agreed to upon thing.
That's the
Where
shit
they're
I
going to
don't
hold
like.
the executions at. What was that?
That's the shit I don't like.
So
There's a working together.
yeah.
Whitehead
No, it's not a
starts
working together. It's just where they're going to hold the execution. Not, I'm saying is like
Yeah,
what I mean
no,
by that.
but I've
It's
heard
Yeah,
where
but
that
the
before.
state should never have had a say into where they're going to be executed.
Right, right.
No,
But
no, what I mean by that is
it's
not
almost
where
like an
it's
agreement.
where the okay. So what I meant by that is where the deep state is going to be executed has been agreed upon by the white hats. So it means wherever they take them has already been agreed upon. The deep state has no say in where they're going to be executed. It's the white hats. What I meant by the deep state were afraid of where this was happening for them. They were going to be executed. They knew that. So that's
And
why
I
I felt
thought
that agreed upon about where they're going to the locations of where they're going to perform these executions. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like there's no
I've heard that from lots of people, not just our group. That there's a tit for tat. There's an agreement on something.
They try to flip people. That's why.
Yeah, and I understand that, but at the same time, it's almost like this gentleman's code of some sort. Wipe your ass with that. You know what I mean? I don't.
Right.
I don't. This is war. There shouldn't be a decorum. You know what I mean? It's Anyway, sorry, but yeah.
Was there an alternate reason for the white screen? Was that
An
not
alternate
also
reason?
like was it to show like the tribunals and stuff outside, or is it just to cover up the executions?
That's a good question, really.
Because I'd always thought it was like like they were going to show the movies there, show the executions. I could be wrong. That happens occasionally.
No, I feel that it was to hide what was going on.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I'm
they
saying
could
that
have done a better job with just black screen,
Yeah, I feel there's a different thing. I feel like it's because there's a conflict. I feel like there was a couple of things they were talking about doing. But I also have the Eight of Swords, which is an imprisonment thing. So I feel like it was to keep them away from, that's an imprisonment or held back card. So I feel like it's to hold people away from seeing it. And I feel like maybe the white is less, I guess the white maybe is it's different if there was a big black screen in front of the white capital. That's what I'm getting. It would draw more attention, believe it or not.
Okay.
I feel like if it was
dark. Okay. It's more like a camouflage.
See, it's flickering now. That's what I feel like. That's what it is.
That's just me.
Because your eye will automatically draw towards the darkest spot. So I feel like it was kind of they could say it was for construction purposes, is what I feel, for dust or whatever. But it was because of that. I got the Knight of Cups. So that means it's military. That's a military thing, and it's a creative way of how they did that, is why they did it this way, because they were in prison. So it was something they were taking care of. And it was something they were contemplating for a while of how they were going to do it, because the Hanged Man was there as well. And there was conflicts with it, with the Five of Swords as well. So for sure. And I always have the Fool card at the base of my deck. The Fool card at the base of my deck means they're on a new journey now. Wherever this was, they're on new journeys to wherever they're going. They're not here anymore.
Happy hunting ground.
Exactly. So that's what I got with that. So yeah, I feel like the dark would. Oh, now we're getting more, huh? A citizen is filed a case. We
need more questions.
A citizen has filed a case for the Supreme Court to hear a list 388. What's 388 equal?
388.
That's 18, 19.
19. Bang, bang, bang. Members of Congress as defendants. Is this a way to remove them? Will they? Well, let me ask the cards and let's see what they got.
Entertainment purposes only. Chrissy's pretty good at that shit. That's filtering out that information, but I think we're going to see a lot of
citizen. I'm going to ask, will the citizen filed case with the Supreme Court come to fruition with removing the deep state
Yeah.
players.
19 members of Congress.
Okay. Let's see what Spirit has to say.
You want to know the weird thing? Actually, chat finally popped up on my computer.
Okay,
I don't know how to move it up or down though, because it's not moving.
So yeah, I got the Magician card first. That tells me that they're being very creative with this, how they're doing this. They're manifesting this. Then I have the Queen of Cups. So I feel like there's going to be some type of nurturing or healing that comes from this. And I have the Ace of Wands. So this is an inspired project, a new project, or something new that they put in. They were inspired to do it. And I have the High Priestess cards. I feel like they're following their intuition by doing that. And then I have the Devil card after that. So that tells me that this is exactly what they're there to do, is because this is to remove the dark. And then I have the Four of Cups. So this is something that's coming to them. So something that's been presented. They're presenting this to the Supreme Court. And I actually have that the Ace of Pentacles. So that tells me something is going to come to fruition with the manifestation. That's an Ace of Pentacles. That's a home run. And then I have the Ten of Pentacles. That means whatever's going to happen will come to completion and fulfillment with the Ten of Pentacles. So that tells me very much so, Chrissy, that exactly what you feel like this could be a way it could go because of the Magician card. That means, like we talked about, look in this hand while something else goes on over here, as that just flickered right now on Dennis as I said that. So that tells me that's a possibility that that's the way it could go. That's just an option at that point. But things may not be, it may be more of a distraction, I feel at times, but it will be successful for us. I feel like that's part of it. So I feel like there's some truth to probably why this has been presented the way it did.
Yeah, wasn't there something before, Chrissy?
There was a super chat. I can't even see it. I'm going to see if I can go to the top. Let me see.
Oh, wait, I can. Wow, I just found this. Is the snowy front coming to cover for special ops? And that's from Hip to Helen. Do you want me to read that again?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Is the snowy front coming a cover for special ops?
Well, I know it's snowing here. It was 67 degrees a few days back, and now we're having snow. So
yeah, we're 30. We were 32 just when the show started.
I'm at 41. I'm
a 2X. That like slim.
So my temperature's bigger than yours.
Come on, you didn't enjoy that? A 2X slim.
I get yes.
Slim, that was a good one.
I get yes.
Seriously.
I get the Page of Cups. So that tells me it's a creative. Once again, it's very creative on how they're presenting things, a creative opportunity. And then I got the Ten of Pentacles again, but in a different setting of where I put it. And the Ten of Pentacles tells me, yeah, I feel like this is something that they're going to do. Absolutely. And then I have the Ace of Pentacles after that again. And then I have the Four of Cups. So something is being presented. I mean, something is coming. I feel like this is exactly what they're doing. I feel like this is going to come to fruition. However, this is that they're presenting this information. It's very creative in how they're doing it. But I feel like it will come through. It's something that's coming towards us with that Four of Cups. So, yep. Hope that answered your question. Snow lockdowns, yeah. There's a lot of things that they're doing. So, like, okay, for instance, I looked up in the sky. Some of you guys who might not have seen this, if you look at my YouTube channel, I put a picture out, a picture of the pyramid ship that I caught in the moon.
Yeah, that was cool.
With the halo around it. And I've seen so many UFOs the last couple months. So this one was very blatant that they showed me that. But I looked up in the sky that night before it, and it looked like a geometry problem. That's the first thing I saw. I'm like, this looks like geometry up here. Angles. I mean, everything. It was like, I was amazed. But the chemtrails were very, very specific on the angles. Because I looked up, and the first thing that popped in my head was a geometry problem. I'm looking at a geometry problem. I don't know why I got that. This is what I got. So when I did that, what I'm saying is that things are very specific. So I feel like what you're asking about the cover of the snow, I saw so many chemtrails at night in order in the geometry, I feel that created maybe part of that halo. And I feel like it was to show, for me to get that picture, there's no way I've been able to do that without the backdrop of that cloudness around it. You know what I mean? There have to be something for visualization purposes, something on the backdrop in order to pull it to the front. So I was able to do that. So I feel the same thing. It's a cloaking mechanism that they use. And I feel like that's part of why we see some of these chemtrails. They may not be bad. Some of them may be because there's movement in the air that they don't want us to see at this time. So I feel like this is the same thing with the manipulation of the weather. Absolutely. I feel like there is so many environments that the reason why I feel like they manipulate the weather too partially is to keep less people off the street. So if it's snowing and it's bad, people go to work, they do the things they have to do and they go home. They're not going to go out and play around, goof around. More than likely, they're going to stay home. So I feel like that's part of why they do these things, is also to keep less people off, less collateral damage is what that would equate to if things did go down, like what happened at the Federal Reserve building with the Marines, so that we pull cards on. So yeah, I feel like that absolutely has something to do with it. So, I mean, the weather's been so manipulated recently. It's been ridiculous. Like some of the weather changes have been so dramatic here, and at least where
Very drastic.
I live in Illinois. I mean, it's been a roller coaster of. It's been like that for a couple of years, though. I mean, since I've lived here, I mean, I'm like, wow, this weather's been so insane. So basically, since dipshit Drooler took charge of in the White House, that since then, literally, I feel like the weather has been super manipulated. And I feel that too is because a lot of us are starting to try to grow food so they manipulate these things because like we had a bunch of plants go to seeds this year. Like right away, like almost because it was too hot and it got too cold way late in the season. I mean, there's things that really threw our crops all off. And we've been growing these same vegetables with seeds of vegetables that we've already grown. So it should be theoretically even better.
Right.
So, but we didn't have that. Things kind of went the opposite way. So I feel like they're doing that purposely to manipulate, to hurt us, all this stuff. So yes, I feel like the military can use it as well for a good thing, as well to do for missions, for sure. So it's been crazy, man. These last couple of years have been just ridiculous. So almost comedy.
I had my comments on the computer screen. Now they're just stuck there. So much for that. Like that's the first time they've ever popped up for me.
It
was weird. And no, but that's so that was the only one, right? That you missed. I'm sorry. Like I said, I couldn't see them.
Honestly, I saw maybe there was a couple. I don't know if one was a sticker. I have to go back and look. If I miss it, I'll go back tonight. I'll look through my stuff, and if it's a question you have, I promise on the next round table, I won't forget you. I will answer you first. So I don't do business that way. So Chrissy, they use cloaking mechanisms out here on the coast all the time. Fog starts forming on the horizon on the coast. They hide UFOs in and out of the water. Yes, and I pulled cards for that before, and I said there's military bases where you live underground, and I also feel like there's a portal there where you live as well. And I feel like that's where they portal jump there. So I feel like when it comes to that, absolutely. I mean, I feel like that's a way they cloak, and I keep getting a cloak. That's what the word that came to me is cloak. It's a cloaking mechanism that they use. And also the military also has cloaking mechanisms as well. People don't realize that we have technology. Literally, they can make you invisible. You can blend right into the environment. They'll walk right by you, even if they're an inch away from you. You won't even know they're there. It's literally that strong of technology. Yeah. So
what you're saying is just a figment of my imagination. I'm invisible.
Hot L Baltimore.
Baltimore?
Hell, it was a series, Hot L Baltimore. There was a guy in there, is Bert. Bert would snap his fingers and he was invisible, but he wasn't. Just stupid. Sorry.
No,
it just popped into my head.
I also feel the St. Louis Arch is a portal. I feel like these landmarks that are very
weird energy on that.
What's that?
There's definitely a weird energy with that.
Oh no, that's why I feel like a lot of these landmarks, like they call them the wonders of the world. Those are some of the main landmarks, and then there are also things like major, like things like the St. Louis Arch. What else can I mean, the Sears Tower, or the Willis Tower, what it's called now, it used to be the Sears Tower in Chicago. I mean, there's so many like big places, like you said, Big Ben. I mean, there's so many things that people, they're landmarks. They direct your attention to that for a reason.
Mm.
The Statue of Liberty.
Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon. I mean, why do you think that they have all these tours so you can go there? You think you think the evil wants you, if they because they own all that, you understand that. If you don't think that if they were evil, you think that they wouldn't want somebody hanging out on their property and doing whatever they want, right? Exactly. So if they owned it, do you think they would let just people just come freely in and out and deface it, do whatever they want to? No. So what it comes down to it is because they want you there. They want you to partake in that ritual. You partake in a ritual with all that. And I know it's sad because people go there to have a good time, and it is on your intention, but your intention also when you go there automatically is already put into the ritual. It just depends on how lower your energy is at the time. Right. So it's all, I'm telling you, things are sick and twisted. Everything is twisted. And as Dennis's light is flickering all over the place as I'm saying these things. So it's true. I mean, and I know it's hard. I mean, it's a true story that these guys are, I mean, everywhere, literally every place people visit, the White House, the Capitol, capitals of your states,
Statue of Liberty,
churches. I'm sorry, even churches. They're there for reasons. They were there purposely put up.
Definitely does. To
indoctrinate you. And I'm like I said, I was raised Catholic. I don't want people to get upset. I love God, and God, I'm a fighter of God. I know I am. I've always been. So, but I mean, is the process of it, of the worship part of it. That's the part that is same thing. We go, why do you think they make churches big and fancy? Right? Just like no different than looking at the Statue of Liberty. Am I wrong?
Right.
You go there for a purpose. Ooh, this is beautiful. I want to go look at it. I want to go there. I want to see that, right? I'm going to give you money to see this. Same thing when you go to church. You give them money to go to church. Do you not? We have the building fund or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
I suppose even all the memorials around Washington, D.C.
Right.
And some of them are really spiritual, like the Vietnam War Memorial. If you go there, you can feel the spirits.
Okay. Doesn't that kind of spark you a little bit on, remember when they were tearing down statues not long ago?
Yeah.
Of all sorts. I'm just wondering.
Never touched any in Washington, D.C.
I wonder if there's a coordination or just that was just political theater, whatever. But
you got it. Political theater, man.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And nothing to do with that, because I guarantee that statue is just for a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's what's tied to that place. Because then what do? They put another one up. Whatever that is.
I was going to say there's an anchor there. That's just it. Yeah. There's an anchor. Exactly. Doesn't matter what's up top.
Exactly.
Agreed.
I mean, literally, I mean, just everything is it's twisted. I mean, it's sick. I mean, even the money, our money. There's so much Illuminati symbology in our money. There's even the owl in our money. If you look for the little owl, which is Moloch, it's very small, and with the very top right corner, you'll see it's very small. You have to use like a magnifying glass almost. And you'll see it's a little tiny owl, which, all-seeing eye. And owls are beautiful. Owls are very spiritual. Owls are a symbol of light and beautiful. That's why they watch at night. They're the night watchers. They watch at night. So that's why you see owls at night all the time. They hunt at night. They're watching the night. So they flip it. They flip all these things. They worship these things. I mean, it's just literally. And the funny thing is all these deities or whatever you want to call it, they all answer to the same creator. They all were created by the same creator. That's what I tell you. And people, even Satanist worshipers, guess what? The God that you say is God, he still answers to the same God that we do. Yeah. So you're not getting ahead you're just getting fooled, man. Sorry. Because I know my God doesn't ask me to hurt children, kill people, steal from people, manipulate people. That's not what my God's about. I don't know how your all's gods are about, but I know mine isn't about that. I know my God says, nope, You have a conscience and a heart, and I gave it to you, and I gave you a good soul. You need to use it. So have I been perfect in my life? No. There's some things that I wish that, I would have been in those predicaments, but I was, and there was a reason why that they're there. I was in those predicaments. It's like you guys all are. There's the sex bots.
The end.
Block user. Goodbye. Oh, it says an
The
error
double duty.
occurred. It says an error occurred. I couldn't even block them. It says an
Well,
error
you know
occurred.
why? It's because one of the other mods probably got him.
Okay.
Probably
Good.
why.
Crush that fool. Don't be coming up in here.
Crush him.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's guys, it's sick, man. I mean, everything that we're going to learn. So that's what I'm telling you. So this little speed bump that we encountered yesterday is nothing.
150 something when the bots
155.
When the bots came in, I try and see that in the other chats, like when they come in, because it's almost it's almost completely timed,
Absolutely.
155.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, and also so people, look for 1.5s and 5.1s everywhere. So I know. Good. Thank you, Chrissy. I'm glad you got them because I was literally, as soon as I saw them, like, crush. It's just that was me trying to come out, but you already handled it, so that's good. So I mean, so the Illuminati was founded on 5.1. So if you look at even the founder of the Illuminati, he died. I forget in November. I forget what day it was specifically, but it was on the 322nd day of the year. So these things that you see, there's the Order of the Bee, there's the Illuminati, there's the Skull and Bones, 322 symbology, 5.1s. If you see 1.5s and 5.1s, even if it adds up to 15 or 5.1, it's all in the codes. I'm telling you, they're talking to themselves about what they do. So I want you to start looking. If you don't believe me, start looking at all the places you see any negative comments, like articles in the newspapers or online. Start looking up all the numbers and what they add up to. A lot of times you're going to see 15s, 5.1s. It's going to add up. So they're mirrored. Everything is mirrored. You can flip and mirror because that's what people don't realize. That's why the Illuminati they have the blacks and the white checkerboard. That's the light and the dark. That's the yin and the yang. Mm-hmm. That's our good and our bad. So that's what the reason. That's part of the ascension is. That's that part of the Freemason stuff resonates because it's true. We all have our shadow self and we have our light self. It's whatever we choose who wants to dominate at the time. It's like having the angel on this shoulder telling you you're do great, do the good thing, and the devil on this side just chirping in your ear saying, do it. You know you want to do it.
Do it.
That's what it is. So we just have to just fight those battles, guys.
Each one of our battles. When you're out there shopping or just going around, pay attention to the logos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, meaning too, the symbology.
Yeah. So patterns. Yeah. So Tanya, there's some patterns that I see. A lot of things that I'll see is like, okay, so what I can tell you in patterns. So if you watch, like you're watching a movie, what I'll tell you is watch how they film things, like the angles. Watch how they film an angle of like if they're interacting with each other, okay? Like two people in a movie. Look how they angle. If they have weird angles and things like that, they're not drawing the attention to the person they're talking to. They're drawing the attention to the object or the something that's already pulling their attention. So what they're doing is you're focused on the person in the front because you're watching this movie for the first time. But when you watch it from their aspect is they have symbols all over it. Blue and yellow. Blue and yellow. Look for that color. That's everywhere. Blue and yellow. Blue and yellow. That's Illuminati. Black, white, and red. Those are patterns everywhere. Look for the stars that were black, white, and red. Those are patterns. I'm telling you, you'll see the movies. The numbers, 322s, 5.1s. I mean, you can look. 18 is another one that adds up. And you see things that add up to 18. People say, oh, it's just 18. No, that means 666 for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they look at when you see an 18, that's what they mean. It's 6.
Be right back.
Yeah, 6 3 times. So those are patterns. Look how they angle the cameras. When you'll see in a movie how they'll angle it and look beyond the person that you're looking at, look around, and you'll start to pick up. You'll see symbols on. So I watched The Day After Tomorrow just recently with my wife. No, I'm sorry. I watched that one, and then we watched 2012, the disaster movie. So the 2012 movie that came out years ago, it was about the global warming is what this movie was about. So that's why I watched it, because I read the titles. I'm like, now that I know I'm awake, I go back and watch some of these movies just to decode and see them. So that's what I do. And I go through, and my wife's like, we should watch that. We should see what we pick up on it. So we've been watching these things now. So same thing with them. So he went to a news stand in New York or wherever I think it was New York. He went to a newsstand to pick up newspaper or something that was going on. If you look in the newsstand, there was a bunch of stuff, children. All their magazines were all children. Next scene, they came back. There was no more children. It was something different in those same stacks of magazines. So you'll pick it up. You just have to look. You just have to look how they angle things on you. I'm telling you, look from a different lens, not just what's in front of you directly. Look at everything, and things will start to really come together. You'll be like, wow. And you'll start to pick up these patterns. They'll just start flowing. You'll pick them up. It'll just be flowing. So yes, Oreos are bad. Oreos are very bad. So that's something that actually had a satanic Lady Gaga edition of it. So Oreos. Yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that one, Dennis? You pick up some numerologies, or what are your thoughts on some of these things that maybe people you picked up on throughout your years?
I'm not really doing much of the Gematria. I do some, but numerology, patterns, I'm not really focused on. I don't know.
Sorry.
No worries.
I was getting the doggy pee-pee dance. So I had to get them out real quick. Pardon me.
The doggy or you?
The doggies. I'd be the first one to tell you I had to go. But that was actual the doggies.
So, yeah, I mean, seriously, you just have to look, guys. I mean, same thing when you look at a picture in a magazine, whatever you read, if you see pictures, whatever it is, look at things around it, not look at what's in front of you. That's what I feel like. Right. Movies are that way too. So everything is done. These are scripted things that are put out. They work on movies years in advance before they're put out. Years.
Oh yeah.
Years in advance. I mean,
go
they're filmed at least
30, 40, 50 years, and the things that they were showing then are happening now.
Yes.
It's like Soylent Green back in the 60s. And now you're hearing about some of the meat products have human meat in them.
Entertainment
Soylent
purposes
Green.
only. Oh, Jesus.
Gassy.
Oh.
You got bombed. You got crop dusted.
You were just out there.
So, no, I mean, as far as 11, I mean, I haven't pulled any Gematria on it yet. I pulled up, November.
Fan. You need a fan,
11,
Joe.
So.
Oh, I need something. Jesus.
But you know what I started doing that, honestly, you want to hear the funny thing is I've never done this in the Gematria calculator before. Since you're asking, Tanya.
Oh, I was going to say.
So I put in the number 1116. I didn't spell it out for November 16th, right? I just put in one. I've never done that. Just put in numbers before. And some of the stuff that I mean, it's pretty, I want you to read. I'm not going to pull up these things, but I want you to read. You can put up numbers. You don't have to put in words in the calculators, things like that. Same thing with the anagrams. I mean, start looking at words, guys. You'll start to see word patterns, and you'll be able to see anagrams, things that we are associated with so much. Like he said, Santa Claus, Santa, Satan. There's so many things in the words because they're powerful. They're powerful. So then they put it in a writing, and then the writing is a chronicle. See, words can change. Have you noticed the old thing where you tell one person, he goes around the circle, by the time it comes back to you, the whole story's been flipped? Why do you think they chronicle things in writing?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they make you regurgitate in school the way they do? That's what it is. It's regurgitation.
Yeah.
You're not really learning skills. You're just able to They say, oh, you're dumb. You can't memorize these as well as you should, and you can't translate it onto a test. You're dumb. You know what I mean? We're going to send you to wherever. So we're going to send you to prison. Basically, that's where your next
Send you
stop
to
will
an
be.
orphanage.
Exactly. I mean, just places like that. But I mean, it's just like everything, guys. That's why they chronicle things in writing. Spelling. Spell. You have to write it out. What we say, words, everything is power, guys. Everything is power energetically. That's why it's such a struggle that we're finding. It's a struggle of power. It's a tug of war. We're in a tug of war. And the loser is going to go over the cliff. That's a true story. If you want to get on this side and pull with the light, and we'll pull you off from falling off the cliff, or you're going off the cliff. So that's or the pit, whatever, the pit that's coming. We're pulling you off the cliff into the pit. So that's why I want you guys to know that we're in this together. So it's been 2:05. It's been a long show. I mean, I just want to, before we go, I want to do another healing. Before we do that, is there anything that you wanted to leave the group with there, Mr. Dennis, for
I
next
got
week?
another 5 hours.
He's always 5 hours. Jason,
I
do
can make it
you
6.
want to let them know the schedule for?
Oh yeah.
I know you're going on vacation at some point, so
Yeah.
if you want to announce that.
Yeah.
Sure. So we do this show every Wednesday, as you guys know. So next week I'll have another show on Wednesday. Then the following week from I believe it may be the 30th of November, no show because I'm going on vacation. I was supposed to go on vacation, as you guys know, 2 weeks ago almost now. And I had something happen. It was a blessing in disguise because there was a problem with the plane. So I'm glad that we're able to go. So we're not going to have our show that week of the 28th of November, but we'll try to pick it up again the next week. And also, so some of you guys are turning in the first time, I'm also doing I'm going to start doing a weekly Monday show, and even like I've been doing, just kind of answering questions you guys might have individually, and just kind of getting some answers for you, because I know at this time there's a lot of people who need answers, and a lot of things maybe will help them ease their some of their anxieties in their minds about what's going on in their own lives personally, is what this is for. Or anything else. I mean, if you want to ask truth or stuff, we can do that too. I'm just saying it's open for them. So I'm just here to help people as much as I can. So I'm glad you brought that up. So before we kind of go into our healing though, I mean, is there anything you want to leave the group with, Jay, besides that?
No, I'm good. I think we had a nice, we covered everything real nice. I mean, I always tell you, just go back and re-listen to the parts that you liked, that stuck out with you.
Exactly.
Keep in mind that we're all a tribe. We all have our own gifts. So don't be afraid to ask anybody for help.
Sorry.
If you know what it is.
Absolutely. Exactly. I love it. You see how bright my light is now?
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
And then it's just dim now.
Yeah, do you see that?
It went real big, yeah.
I had to take it back.
I got tingles on my head. So if some of you just saw that on the screen, I mean, my light was super bright. Like, it was bright. That's what happens with me. See, Dennis gets flickers of lights.
Yeah.
Mine usually illuminates with light, and then it kind of goes to the regular light.
Sometimes it just kind of dims.
I am the anchor. I am the anchor.
Yes, very much so. So one thing I want to just tell you guys, as we mentioned, let's go ahead and do this. Let's do this last healing, guys. And it's not, like I said, it's not just a healing for us. We're healing the world. We're healing the universe. We're healing others. Remember, we talked about you're in the trenches right now. We're in the foxholes. We're protecting the person to your left and your right. We're watching your 6 behind you. We're watching your 6. That's what we want you guys to watch. Someone else's 6. Have their back to the left and the right. Whatever it is, that's we're in this together. We're interlocking hands, and that's how we win. We have to be connected. We have to be together, not divided. So let's go ahead, and if you want to grab your sage, your Palo Santo, your candle, whatever it is you want to do, you don't have to. Like I said, it's all intention. That's the main part of this. And once you have, I'm going to grab my Palo Santo. Right. So if you have your stuff, if you don't, that's okay too. If you want to grab a crystal, you can do that too. Whatever it is, whatever you feel comfortable with, that's the most important thing. So what I want you to do is close your eyes. As we talked about, we need to quiet our mind. Quiet our mind. Slow our breathing down. In through your nose, 2 to 3 seconds. Out through your mouth, 2 to 3 seconds. And I want you to bring in that beautiful, beautiful, loving moment, interaction, something that brings joy and smile to your face and a joy to your heart. Bring it into your heart at this time. And open your heart up. I know your heart's been closed off because of the things going on in our world, but I want you to open them up. I want you to open it. And I want you to visualize that you're pulling in all this beautiful white light energy that you've given away. And I want you to visualize pulling it in back through the top of your head, back in through the bottom of your feet, and back in through your heart. And as this energy flows through you, and I want you to feel this energy renew you. I want you to feel this energy heal you. I want you to feel this energy lift your vibration and light. I want you to feel whole. I want you to feel completed. Now, as this energy is flowing through you and you're healing and you're regenerating and you're energizing, I want you to push out with that beautiful open heart of yours. Push it out to the world. Push this energy back out, that healing energy. And I want you to say the affirmations or the things that you want to say to the world or to the people that you want to send this energy to. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am no longer affected by the old timeline of the earth. I am and we are only affected by the new timeline of the earth. Abundance of health, wealth, and love for all. I am wealthy and abundant in all areas of my life. I am healing myself and others. I am no longer affected by my past. I am loved and I am worthy. And so it is. So be it.
Man, thank you.
All right, guys. Once again, take that energy. Take that energy and fire that energy out, guys. But protect yourself as well. Protect your energetic field. Spirit wants me to say protect your energetic field. What you project out, you'll receive. So we want to project the victory, project the light, project our timeline, not what the dark is timeline. We want to project our timeline, the higher vibrational timeline. We need to project it and project it and project it until it just becomes every moment you're in this existence, you project that future. Because collectively, together, we change the world. We change the world. And we have already won. And I want you to go with that in your heart, knowing that faith is here in your heart, and believe we have already won because we have. So thank you guys once again for tuning in this week. It's been a beautiful, beautiful chat, like always.
Thanks, Mods.
Thank you for the Guardians for crushing those trolls. That's amazing. You guys have been awesome. And thank you guys always for tuning in, for all you listeners that come in.
Thank you, Dennis,
like I said,
for all the laughs. Thank you.
Yes, Dennis.
He makes my
beautiful.
Night. He does. He makes my night.
Love the light.
This is not the time to retreat, guys. This is not the time to retreat and hide in your corner, rocking back and forth, crying. This is the time to stand up.
My next show will be on Friday.
Puff your chest up,
Yes, sir.
and let's keep our boots moving, guys. All right? We got this. Soldier of Light, out. I love you guys.
I love you guys.